Today we're going to be checking out some of the most fun 3D printable puzzles on the internet and find out if a 26-year-old man with the mental capacity of a toddler on horse electrolytes can solve them. Level 1. Okay, this one's called the most difficult two-piece puzzle, and you're supposed to arrange them in a way that it forms a symmetrical figure. Now my first instinct was to do this, and my second instinct was to sit in a corner and feel ashamed of myself because this is obviously not the solution. In all seriousness, it took me about 10 minutes to figure it out. I'm obviously not going to spoil the puzzle for you, but here's a hint. There's a circular hole on one of the pieces, and to make any symmetrical figure, this circle will need to be divided into two equal halves. On a fun scale of boing boing door stopper to reading a David Baldacci book, I would give it a 7. Level 2. This puzzle is called the Cassette Wallet Maze, and it's probably my favorite puzzle on this list today because it's like a mini retro video game that you can play anywhere. The basic idea is to get this piece from one side of the maze to the other with these enemy pieces blocking your way. You can even change the difficulty by bringing out more or less enemy pieces from this spawn point. Now, this is not going to be one of those puzzles that make you question whether you were enrolled in the gifted program or the gifted program in high school, but it's really fun and it prints in less than an hour, so I really like it. I give this an 8 out of 10 on the fun scale. Also, this doesn't work in a cassette player. If you're enjoying this video so far, or even if you're not, consider subscribing to my channel. It's free, it's easy, and yeah, I guess that's about it. Level 3 is a jigsaw puzzle for adults. But what happens when a child touches it, you may ask? This puzzle looks way easier than it actually is. With the traditional jigsaw puzzle, you have a sense of space because the pieces don't overlap, but with this puzzle, the pieces kind of fit inside each other, and because of that, it becomes very difficult to figure out what fits where. A good strategy is to identify the corner pieces and the edges first and then try to fill in the center. It took me about 15 minutes from start to finish and it was moderately fun. I would give this a 5 out of 10. Level 4. The next puzzle is this cube chain. The main goal is to somehow assemble these Minecraft-themed anal beads into a perfect 3x3 cube. Now, truth be told, I was not able to figure this one out even after like an hour of trying, but the solution became pretty intuitive once I watched a YouTube video on how to solve it. I realize now that that kinda defeats the point of the puzzle. But anyway, this is not fun. 3 out of 10. But do you know what was fun? This puzzle, and this puzzle, and this one too. But before we check them out, I want to thank my sponsor for this video, PCBWay. If you guys want to build something, whether it's a robotics project or a mechanical one like some of my other projects, or even if it's something more industrial like CNC or 3D printing, whatever you could possibly need, these guys can help. They've helped me with my past projects and their services are extremely affordable for the quality that you're getting with a quick turnaround. So it's a total no-brainer if you're starting a build project of your own. Check them out at the link in the description. Now back to the video. Okay, level 5 is where things get interesting. This triple helix puzzle is a weird one, and I'll explain why in a second. There are 3 helixes and 3 containers, and you have to put them together in a way that combines all 6 of them like this. It seems simple because at a first glance, the parts look identical, but there are subtle differences between the helixes and the containers. Now here comes the weird part. As I was trying to solve this puzzle, I was also reading some reviews which said that the tolerances on this puzzle were a bit tight. Then, when I reached the point where I had only 1 helix left, and it felt like it would fit had it not been for those tight tolerances, I decided to use some gentle persuasion, and it worked. This is the first puzzle I've ever seen that you can manhandle into submission like this. That was obviously not the real solution. The pieces are meant to fit pretty easily, but I wanted to tell you this story because I thought this was a bit weird and you might encounter a similar issue while solving this puzzle. If solved correctly, this puzzle is a solid 7 out of 10. Level 6. This is an apple. Or is it? Of course not. It's a puzzle made out of 12 pieces that you need to assemble into an apple. This one took me about half an hour and it was a lot of fun, except for these edges that are sharp enough to slit my wrist.
Return of the Jedi 2-disc DVD set limited edition widescreen.
Setting the lack of fillets aside, I think this is a great puzzle and I would give it an 8 out of 10. Level 7. Okay, the final puzzle for this video is this real-life version of the Millennium Puzzle from everyone's favorite cartoon about a child with untreated multiple personality disorder, Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, before we get into the puzzle itself, I need to mention that this puzzle sacrifices printability for show accuracy, which means it prints with more support than an anti-women's rights bill in a Middle Eastern country. And I fucking hate that. But the puzzle itself is actually pretty good. It took me about an hour to solve, and on my first attempt, I somehow managed to solve it with a few pieces to spare, which is not great. But once you figure out where the top pieces fit, the rest of the puzzle becomes relatively easy to solve. It's a record-breaking 9 out of 10 for me. Before we end the video, I wanted to tell you that if puzzles are not your jam, I've made a lot of other stuff as well that you can 3D print for yourself. Links to all of my 3D print files will be in the description. Okay, I guess that's about it for this video. I know the slop content isn't exactly what most of you guys signed up for, but it's been a rather tough couple of months for me with the death of my cat and a lot of health issues, but I had some good stuff planned for the next few months, including some Dragon Ball action figures, so stay tuned for that. And as usual, thank you to my Patreon members for sticking around. You guys are the best and I really mean it. Consider liking and subscribing, maybe watch this video next. I'll see you later, bye!
You and I, we are so random. You bring the darkness to the light, split the atom. I ignore the fact that this will never last.